Pete, it's been a while since we've been able to sit down with you. A lot's happened since then.
Yeah, it's been a big year, big season. I think for all of us. I mean, have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's weird. There's two things to talk about because we can talk about the season gone and the season coming up. And I was chatting to somebody last night and I said to them, the weird thing is I think for a chairman, your season kind of runs. You have a separate season that runs from about towards the end of Feb till I would say end of August, which is you kind of have a gut feel for whether you're going to be. And if I think of all chairmen, they're probably whether you're staying in the league you're in, you've got a chance to get promoted or a chance to get relegated, and you start really prepping hard for the next season at that point. So whilst maybe Rob and Charlie are focused on that season and the next game and closing that one out, I have to start early on the next season. So, and that runs from budgeting and planning for every scenario, whether you stay in a league or get promoted, and then to all the things you have to do for the next season, get in place, and then starting the first kind of month of the season, getting it smooth. So I kind of feel like I'm in the start, like the midpoint of my season now, which is weird. But yeah, I guess you want me to reflect on last season first, don't you?
Yeah, so let's start with a few weeks ago, that big weekend. Talk us through it.
Yeah, what a weekend. I mean, the way the stars aligned was incredible. Because we targeted the start of the season where the goal was for the men to get promoted and the women to both get promoted. And we'd also asked our investors, the Winklevoss twins, Cameron and Tyler, to come across to a game. So we picked that game because we had that conference in Bedford. And then just the stars aligned that in a way that shouldn't have happened, that both teams could win their league on that weekend. I think when Burko were facing Kidlington, we all assumed Burko would win that game, and so the men wouldn't be able to win it that weekend, and turned out they got a draw. I remember like me and Connor was 0-0 at half time. We're like, no way, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Burko are going to win this. And then gets to like the 90th minute and I'm refreshing Twitter, and I think they hit the bar and had a thing cleared off the line. They drew, so that meant against Kings Langley we could win the league. And the same with the women's. We thought there's a chance to win AFC Sudbury. That was a 0-0 draw, so that moved to the Seawood game. So the stars aligned that both could win that weekend, and do it when we knew we'd have a big crowd in, and do it when our investors were there. So it worked out perfectly for us. Kings Langley was. We had that weird feeling that it would be like last year. It would be a 0-0 draw. We got a penalty. Archie Jones was fouled in the box, and Joey did what he's done all season, stepped up and put it away. And I think it was really good to do it in front of the investors, because I've been explaining to them what football's like and talking to them about it. And they fully back what we've done. But I think of all the games for them to come to, they really got a gut feel for what this is and where it can go. So that was great. I think we were more confident on the women winning their game on the Sunday against Seawood. I think it was 11-1 in the end.
Yeah, 11-1.
11-1. So, look, great. We set out at the start of the season. The goal was for both teams to get promoted, and they've done that. So that was great. And the fact that it happened that weekend was great as well. So, as a chairman, I was very happy.
So on that Saturday, obviously we had Gemini team, Tyler and Cameron there. What was it like to experience that?
It was... I mean, like I've known Tyler and Cameron for a few years now, and they're great people. I mean, they're not only as humans I can reach out to if I've got kind of broader questions outside of the football club, but also in supporting the football club. They've been very supportive of the whole thing, and to get them in for that game was great, and to experience that win alongside them was great, because they're my co-owners now, Seb. When we make big decisions now, it's not me on my own. We have a board. We had a board meeting before the game, and to have them there to get the feel for it, understand it, makes it a lot easier now to have those board meetings. And we are talking a lot more now than before the game. We would chat, the odd text here or there, and the odd conversation. It's a lot more regular now. They get it. They fully back it. I mean, we've been talking about the plans for a stadium. They're fully behind it all now, and so having them there for that moment not only was great for them and great for the club, but it was great for the board itself, that board relationship, because they got to meet the team, meet the managers, and just get that thing that we all feel here when we're at games.
So obviously a week later, we end up 100 points, Centurions. What was that like? What was the team feeling after that?
Yeah. I don't think we've done that yet, have we, previous 2 years?
I think we hit 99 one season and 91.
Yeah, and and the stats themselves are incredible. I mean, we've lost 6 games in the league in 3 years. I mean, that's just an incredible thing, and a lot of credit goes to Rob for that, because I think, is it only Tyler that remains from the first season?
And Hitchy.
Yeah. So we've transitioned through new teams, yet maintained that core philosophy that Rob has, and that belief that you can play football and win games. And to only lose 6 games in 3 years is incredible. To get to, was 104 points in the end?
104, yeah.
104 points. I mean, that's incredible. It's an incredible achievement. It means less to me as a chairman. I think it's more of a gift to the manager and the players, because once we've won the league, we celebrate and we have a drink that night, and then the next day I'm planning next season. I as soon as I can, I'm in there planning and I'm working on next season. I think it's more of an achievement, as it should be, for the players and the manager, because my goal is promotion for them, that they want to have records and these stats they can look back at this season and go, what an incredible season. Remember when we got our 104 points and nearly 100 goals. It's mad that they did it. And even that, this is where the credit goes to the team. We had that final game of the season where we were, remind me, who we went to?
Tame,
that's it, Tame. We're 1-0 down, and Rob's rotated the team to give some players some match time. We've rotated the team, we're 1-0 down. Well, I don't know, 10 minutes to go or something?
Yeah, about 15.
15 minutes to go, and the players haven't, they've won the league. They've already got 100 points. Yeah, such is the desire of the team. Yeah, they keep going, and Joey scores that incredible header, and then we get I think it was another penalty, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was a foul on Joey.
Yeah.
And they didn't stop going till the last minute of the last game, despite having won the leagues, despite already set a record. So it's testament to the culture that Rob's created. Rob's created this incredible culture within the side. And we, the shame is we nearly had a similar achievement for the women, in that they could have one game away from going unbeaten all season. We had Gemma Biggerdike in goal because neither goalkeeper was available. And I don't think Gemma would be annoyed at me for saying this, but if we'd had a proper goalie that day, we'd have won that game as well, or not lost it. And that would have been a team unbeaten all season. So, look, all around, all through, men's and women's, it has been an unbelievable season. I'm so proud of all of them, and not just them, but the wider team. I mean, Hughes, Emma, Neil, Connor, everyone, Jezza, everyone who's worked so hard to make this club what it is. It's great.
So you mentioned records back then. Obviously, everyone thought doing back-to-back titles was hard, but I don't think anyone really thought about 3 consecutive titles for the men's team.
Yeah, I think it's only been done 2 or 3 times before. I know Forest Green did it, and I know who was the other one? Forest Green, Dagenham, Russian and Diamonds did it. I think Chester did it, but they did it like from step 8, which is whatever. But that was incredible. I mean, look, when we started this, we said 10 promotions in 6 years was the goal. We wanted to get from step 6 to the Football League. And so I, in the back of my mind, thought, well, I hope we get a couple of promotions in that period, and that could be the title or through the playoffs. To go champions is amazing. It's incredible. I mean, I feel very fortunate to have met Rob when I did. Somebody said to me, I can try to remember, who's that guy we had in goal? Kyle Foster, first season. He said, because at the end of the season we're going to change manager. He said, you need to talk to Rob Sinclair. He's the best young manager coming through. So we met with Rob, and I feel very lucky, because I don't know where we would have been. We might have got a different manager. We might have won 1 or 2, but we've won 3. And that's also changed the dynamic, in that if it's still 10 years, we've got 3 more to do in 7. Look, and I know these are going to get a lot harder. But I mean, back to back for the men is incredible. Back to back for the women is incredible. The Real Bedford Football Club is, it is, on an incredible trajectory. But you can't spend too much time thinking about it, because it's like, okay, what now?
Yeah,
what now?
So obviously, those 3 promotions for the men's and the 2 for the women haven't been easy, have they? Obviously, in the first season, we've had Northampton Chennicks, then MK Irish, now Burco, and then Norwich for the women. It's been quite challenging.
Yeah, I mean, every league we've gone for, there's been a challenger. Actually, I felt like Rugby Borough were more of a challenge that first year.
Yeah,
But it was a 3-horse race, us Chennicks and Rugby. And I think there tends to be key moments you think about where you think, okay, there's been a shift there. And I remember when we played Rugby away in that first season, and they're running us close. I mean, they'd beaten us at our place. They were the first team to win it at McMullen Park, what it was called before we called it the Ledger Stadium. And I feel like Eddie Corbett and Luke with a penalty with the 2 goals. But it was, I mean, the first goal was like 0-0 to the 85th minute. And I was like, crap, I was worried about the game. Then we get the goal and then when we're through. And then, again, last season, Irish ran us pretty hard up until a few games ago when they had a wobble. It was weird because we had that game when it was 0-0, and I feel like they thought they'd won the league that day, and I felt like that was a turning point where they hadn't, because I knew their run of fixtures, and it turns out we ended up winning that. But in some ways, this one has felt the most comfortable towards the end, which again was weird. But no, there's always been a challenger, and if you look at some of these divisions, the years where we're not there, the points we've got, we would have won the season, we would have won the league a lot before. So we've always had someone who's pushed us, but maybe we're tracking someone with us. Who knows? And then you say with the women, like Norwich, I think after 5-6 games, we all thought, okay, this is going to be very hard. Norwich are probably going to be the team to catch. And then they had their wobble, and we ended up taking the lead, and they chased. I mean, they've had a great run since after Christmas. And in the end, did we win it by a couple of points in the end?
I think it was 4 or 5.
Yeah, I don't count that Dulwich game, in that if we needed that game to win the league, we would have had one of the goalkeepers available, and we'd probably win that game to win the league. But it was closer than I expected. And the weird one on that one is we set out to win the league, and I'm glad we won the league. But if you'd have told me we would have won the league having drawn that many games, I said probably not. And so that was a strange one. But winning leagues is not easy. I've watched these teams and watched the managers, and look where we're going. It's only going to get harder, and the difficulty accelerates as you go through the divisions, because there's so many other good teams you come up against. But no, it's again, we should be really proud of all these players and the managers of what they've done.
So another great league season, obviously another title. However, in our cup runs, obviously we got to the semi-finals of the Challenge Cup, got knocked out by FC Dunstable, and got knocked out in the first round of the FA Cup. How do you feel about our League Cup runs this season?
Look, in years where we win titles, I don't care. I could probably answer this better talking about the women next season. The women are going up to a very difficult level, a difficult standard, but we almost can't get promoted to the Championship. Like the level you need to be at to operate in the Championship, I don't think we can be ready for at least 3 years. Look, if in some weird way we won it, and we would look at that. Me and Neil would look at that and see what are the rules and regulations about being in the Championship. Can we do it? So when I've set the goals for Charlie this season, it's to have a good cup run. I want him to focus on that. I want to have a good FA Cup run, because we're not going for we're not chasing the league like the way we have in other seasons. Similar with Rob, but I haven't really set goals around cups. We're looking at the long-term trajectory of this club. We want a men's side in the Football League, ultimately the Premier League, the thing that people still laugh at me about. And the women's, we want to get them up to the Championship within a few seasons, and then to the WSL. And so in the seasons where we think there's a viable chance of getting promotion, cup run can be a bonus, and it'd be nice to have, but I'm not bothered by it, because there are times when teams have had teams who've previously been targeting promotion may have had this great FA Cup run, maybe got to the first round, even the third round, and their league chances have faltered. And so sometimes it can get in the way. So I don't know, Sebi, I do have that kind of like dream third round. Like one day, could we ever get to a third round of the FA Cup? But at the same time, I'm like, when we're going for a league, if we get it, it's a bonus. But if it does, I'm not too fussed.
You mentioned League Cup runs, obviously, for the women's team. Getting to Kenilworth Road against Luton Town and winning 5-0 to retain the cup. How does that feel?
I mean, any day where you smash Luton 5-0 is brilliant. I mean, I absolutely loved it. It's nice for them to go and play in a proper stadium. You also, there's these moments where you like, you could, they're like moments in time where you feel like the club has reached a new point. When we went to QPR, the first time the women were invited to play in the stadium there at Kenilworth Road. What's it called?
Loftus Road.
Loftus Road. I'm so bad with names. Loftus Road. I remember getting there and I sat in the chairs at the top and just had a look around and see our logo up on the big screen was very cool. It was a really cool moment. Having a cup final at Kenilworth Road. It was first ground I ever went to. First game I went to was Liverpool against Luton. Must have been not 40 years ago, but 38 years ago. And so then go back there as a chairman with your team to be playing Luton is amazing. And I mean, we smashed them. 5-0. It could have been 8-0, 9-0. We absolutely walloped them. So that was amazing. You know, it's some people will make comments, oh, that's only the women's. It's not only the women's. We have two teams, and you know me, they're equal to me. I want both to be successful. And so whether it's the men beating a team or the women, I don't care. We beat Luton 5-0. We absolutely wiped the floor with them. And there will come a day when we'll play the men's and we'll catch them. There's a day when we'll beat them as well. And these are all things I'm looking forward to. Like, so yeah, I mean, to me, it was one of the highlights of the season.
In that league, obviously, we had teams like Norwich City, QPR. How proud are you for your team to be playing against some big name teams like that, and for next season to be playing like the likes of #United, Bournemouth, Plymouth?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's excuse me. It's great because these are clubs that I know from growing up, and that's what's one of the great things about women's football. It's so underinvested by some clubs. You know, we have a chance to move up quicker than we have in the men's side, and come up against these teams and get to go to these grounds and play in these facilities. It gets a chance for us to make people more aware of our club, with the women as a vehicle for that. I mean, it's to me, it's just a really cool thing. You see all these names and we're up there with them. And, you know, we're starting to see that with the men's as well. Like next season, we're going to be in a division with Kettering, Harborough, Spalding, like cool clubs, interesting clubs that are at another level to us. And that's one of the great things as we grow as a club. Like we're going to hopefully be in FA Cup draws with other teams, bigger names that you heard of. And we're going to start to legitimately be a club that people will either be scared about playing or excited to play because of who we are. So no, I love it, man. I think it's one of the coolest things. And to win a league, in a league which does have a Norwich, with the resources they have as a club, you know, they play at Carrow Road, I think 3 times a year, and they get thousands there. I mean, we can't even get that on our men's side. And knowing they set out to go and win the league, you know, they got a great manager, Andy Cook, really, you know, good, experienced manager. And for us to outthink them in terms of our prep for the season to go and win it, well, I think that's like a testament to what we're doing as a club.
There's been a lot happening off the pitch as well as on the pitch. Let's talk about the merger of Bedford Town and your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's disappointing in many ways. Look, we set out with the right intentions we wanted to build a successful football club in Bedford, and there is this kind of tension between us and Bedford Town in that we've both been very successful over the last couple of years. I mean, their back-to-back promotions are incredible. We've had 3 promotions. They this year won Step 3 in a very tough league with some good teams, and people know they didn't have the best budget, and Birchie's delivered an incredible promotion for them. But we also all know the finances of football. We know our financial position, their financial position. There are challenges and tensions there. And we had the best intention. The intention was, can we merge a club and bring the fans together and create something for Bedford? And I think I was probably a little naive to how difficult that would be. And look, sadly, time got the better of us. We just couldn't complete the process in time, and I was disappointed. But like in some ways, I'm happy for the Bedford Town fans. A lot of them didn't want it. Yeah, they told me directly they didn't want it, or they would only have it if it was called Bedford Town and not Real Bedford or Real Bedford Town. And also, it would have taken a shine off their step 2. They get to legitimately go and enjoy step 2 as Bedford Town after a great season, and like I'm happy for them for that. That was one of the hardest part of the merger, is that you want the people to want it like you, but they don't. They've followed clubs through thick and thin. I mean, there's people who followed Bedford Town for decades, who've been to thousands of games. Like, this is their life, and they felt like it was being taken from them. And so in some ways, I'm happy for them. I was disappointed. I would have liked it to happen, but look, it is what it is. We move on to next season, and we will face the challenges we have because of the parts of the merger that we're going to miss out on. They'll face the challenges they have for different reasons, but I'm still in good contact with John Taylor. We'll remain friends through this, and I wish them the best and Birchie the best. But yeah, look, couldn't make it happen, sadly.
So that was also about bringing the town of Bedford up as a community also. There's been a lot of spotlight on Bedford recently, obviously with the Universal project and also the opening of Real Coffee as well.
Well, Real Coffee and Universal, they don't feel the same level. Look, the Universal thing is a gift to the town. You have to pinch yourself and say, what? Like, they could have put it anywhere in Europe, and they didn't just pick England, they picked Bedford. It was 4 minutes down the road, Seb. So yeah, look, that's a gift to Bedford, and that can only be good for the people of Bedford. It will create jobs and opportunity, both for the construction phase and post-construction phase. It's funny, I saw some Luton Town people putting up the Universal Stadium Luton. I was like, come on, that'd be ridiculous. But Universal Stadium for Real Bedford sounds pretty nice, doesn't it? Or maybe even it would be Bedford Town. But look, the spotlight is on Bedford. Bedford has a chance now to be one of the fastest growing towns in the country, and now it has a larger incentive to sort itself out. Look, we've opened the coffee shop in town. That's been good for us and exposure for the club. But in doing that, we've been exposed to the problems of the town centre. We have, I see it every morning, about 9 o'clock, all the crackheads come out, and they are either going to the cash point to get whatever money they've been issued, or they're off stealing, and they will go to Tesco's, or they go to the charity shops because there's an old lady working there who either doesn't realise they're a crackhead or isn't going to deal with it. And it is a plague that is destroying the town centre. People aren't coming in anymore. But yeah, I'm going to work on it. Other people in town I've met are working on it, and I know the council are working on it. The police a little bit, but to be honest, they're being a bit shit. It's all lip service. But hopefully they'll pull their finger out because of the Universal thing. But yeah, no, look, there's a lot. Bedford has so much potential right now, but it does require people to pull their finger out and sort out these problems. We cannot just allow the town centre to be a place for people with addiction issues it's a problem of addiction issues, but with antisocial behaviour, to make it a place that mums and children and people don't want to come into, because that's not fair on the businesses in the town. That's not fair on the residents of the town. And so this kind of suicidal empathy that exists just has to go. We have to be hardline about this, and this problem has to be solved, because if we get this right with Universal coming and what we're doing at the football, Bedford could just become this most incredible place, this incredible market town.
Finally, let's just touch base on next season. This next season's coming up.
Yeah.
Promotion for the men could see them in the National League, and the women into the Championship. Some real serious stuff next season. Yeah,
it's funny. This is a big jump for both sides. And let's start with the women. I haven't set the goal for the women's side to win the league, just because of the license required in the Championship and the infrastructure requirements. We need a couple of years to do on that. We need to get to a stage where we're full-time, we have the pathway set up, we have the ground, we have the infrastructure. So I've sat down with Charlie and I've said, look, I want us to be successful. I want to be us up there and competing. But the goal is a 3-year plan that within 3 years we can have a go at the Championship. So can you focus on what we need as a club to put in place? And he's come back with a plan. We've agreed the plan, and we will spend the next 3 years doing that. If somehow we win the league, great. We'll figure that out. But I have said because of that, I want a good FA Cup run. I'd love to get to the 4th round of the FA Cup. I'd love to draw a WSL side. And we've seen clubs lower than us do that. So that's the goal on the women's side. On the men's side, look, it's a big jump. I mean, you and I were at Kettering, Telford yesterday. I thought Kettering had it in the bag. Telford had a great second half, ran out 4-2 winners. That's 2 very good sides. After Bedford Town got promoted, after Harbour went out, after who did Kettering play in the first playoff? I'm trying to remember.
Harbour.
Was it? No, that was Kettering. It was Hales Owen.
All right.
Hales Owen. Yeah, you've got Spalding. You've got so many big clubs who are starting that season going, we legitimately have a chance and want to get promoted. That maybe was 2 or 3 sides for us this year in step 4. It's 6, 7, 8. It's going to be very competitive, very difficult, different environment, big crowds, horrible crowds. And so, look, we want to be up there competing. I've gone to Rob and said, look, goal's the same. We'd like to be up there. Yeah, I never actually say we must win the league. That's not a goal. The goal is ideally get promoted. We'd love to get promoted. We'd love to be up there in the top 5. Yeah, ideally winning it. But we want to be up there competing with these sides. But this is a big step jump for us. And it might be a case of that it doesn't happen. This might be the first season we go, okay, I don't know, though. I have so much faith in Rob, we probably will. But look, it's the plan now is a lot of infrastructure stuff as well. So we talk about promotions, etc., but actually we've got to let the infrastructure catch up with us because we've moved so fast. Yeah, the big thing me and Neil are working on is we need a stadium. Yeah, I want something like, AFC Telford have got. I want something where it has a capacity of a few thousand. And that's going to cost circa 10, 20 million, maybe more. And those projects take a long time. We need to get to a point where we've got an academy. We need a better pathway for the boys and girls youth to get through to the first team. We need to build out our commercial operations. We need to get more crowds in. There's so much to do now to catch up. So it's going to be a really interesting season. The period from now until the start is going to be very, very busy because we've got a lot to do. And then the period from through the whole season itself and the next couple of years trying to build our infrastructure is going to be very busy. So I don't really have a solid answer for next season because there's so much happening. But look, I hope we're up there competing. I'm confident we will be. We've shown that we have the right culture and the right processes internally to do it. We have the best manager in non-league football, Rob Sinclair. And so, hopefully we're up there competing.
Well, hopefully we can speak again in a few months' time. Yeah. Thanks, Pete.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, loving it. Absolutely loving it first year.
It's been a wild ride for you, just straight in there from school. And
yeah, head first, straight in the deep end. But yeah, picking up well and hopefully can improve next season.
Well, listen, fingers crossed. Should be another busy season.
Great. Thanks, Pete.